Hi everybody, foXnoMad here, and today I want to help you travel smarter by showing you the best things to do in Almaty, Kazakhstan. Where to stay, the best places to eat, the foods to try, all that you can do within this city. I've spent the last couple of days here exploring, and there is a lot to do, so I want to make this travel guide for you. So let's go. Alright, so I'm walking back to my hotel after spending a lot of the day eating and filming, and let's talk about transportation and walkability. First of all, the metro system here is not very expensive. There are only 11 stops, but it does get you to a lot of key points around the city, including the city center. It also takes you to Köktepe, which is a hill overlooking the city, which is something you should definitely do at night. The sunset there is absolutely beautiful. Even though there are lines, if you get there a little bit early, you'll make the gondola up to the top at the right time to catch the most amazing views of the city from above. And the city is pretty walkable if you don't mind walking long distances. The blocks are pretty big, but if you don't mind walking, they're pretty straight, and it's a grid system more or less, so it's easy to make your way around and figure out where to go. You can use Google Maps as a walking guide, but 2GIS, that app is better for this part of the world, and it has more details and is a little bit more accurate for Almaty. Now, speaking of food, there is a lot of good food to try here. There's a lot of Kazakh food, which is heavy food, carby food. There's a lot of pasta, there's a lot of meat, a lot of lamb, a lot of horse meat. There's also some seafood that you can find here. There's also cuisine from places like Uzbekistan as well that you can find, and an international food scene too if you want to try something a little bit more Western or a little bit different, maybe some Indian food. You can find a lot of that, and surprisingly there are a lot of restaurants here, from the budget canteens all the way to the high-scale restaurants to get a meal at night. So let's talk a little bit about the people. They are very friendly in general. Locals are very friendly and helpful to foreigners and to tourists, and they don't seem to get a lot of tourists here. So when you show up at a place like the market, you do get a very warm welcome because there's just not a lot of tourists. Except when the locals are in their cars, then they can be very impatient. So you want to make sure that you're careful when you cross the street. You only cross when the signs are green. But other than that, it is really friendly and easy to get around. Even if they don't speak English and you don't speak Kazakh, people are going to be very willing and welcoming to try to communicate with you and to help you if you need anything. Also, the atmosphere of Almaty is very relaxed. Even though this is a Muslim majority country, people are wearing pretty much everything you can imagine. Some people are covered, but most are not, just dressed in regular Western clothes. Alcohol is pretty, not only just easy to find, but it seems like there is a drinking culture in this city. So if you're worried about that, then you don't have to be. It's a very relaxed atmosphere, completely just very chilled out. And the city itself is crowded in certain points, but otherwise feels very spread out, so you don't get this like very tight or crowded feeling. It's very easy to just walk around and do whatever you want or talk to yourself on a camera. So let's talk about architecture. You also have these large Soviet buildings, these old Soviet buildings, which are very large, massive, imposing towers up into the sky like the old hotels. But then there's also the new architecture like the Almaty Mosque, which is also very impressive artwork, but again a very big and imposing building. Much like some of the more fancy restaurants here, you have these big walls, these huge doors, these huge gates opening up into wherever you're going next. The architecture here and the art around the architecture is also very impressive, very photogenic, and just very beautiful to look at. The city is also pretty modern. I'd say most places take contactless credit cards, and most people pay for things with credit cards. I've noticed that if you pay with cash, it's fine, but it's generally unusual. Most people are paying with card, using touchless, contactless card, so it makes it really easy, so you don't have to carry around a lot of cash with you as a traveler, and you don't have to do a lot of exchanging, which is really nice. Another good reason to visit Kazakhstan, especially Almaty, is that it is pretty inexpensive. It's not a very expensive city to travel, to eat. Even the hotels are pretty reasonably priced, especially for what you get for what price. I just made a video showing you what a $42 a night hotel room looks like in Almaty, so you can check that out and get an idea of what accommodation will cost. Food is pretty inexpensive. I'd say for about $5 or $6 you can get a very nice meal, up to $10, $15, $20, and you're going to be eating very well. Now in terms of Wi-Fi, there's not a lot of free Wi-Fi at cafes, A lot of it does require you to have a cell phone to get a code so that you can sign up to the Wi-Fi. So there isn't a ton of Wi-Fi everywhere, but it's pretty cheap to get a local SIM card so you can have internet during your stay. I've just arrived back at the hotel. Thanks for watching these best reasons to visit Almaty, Kazakhstan and what to do here. But if you have any questions, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll have new videos for you every week, and I will see you in the next video.